This is Sally. Sally and her family go to the beach every single year to participate in a sand dollar collecting contest. But this year, something was different. As Sally and her father started the contest, Sally noticed circular-shaped objects on the beach, but these weren't the regular sand dollars. As Sally looked down, she noticed that there were pieces of plastic floating in the sand. She asked her dad, "Dad, what is this?" Her dad continued to tell her that recent studies have shown that a lot of pollution is getting into the environment and a staggering amount of waste, much as has existed for the past 60 years or so, enters the oceans each year. Over 80% of marine pollution comes from land-based activities. Some of these land-based activities include oil spills, fertilizers, seas of garbage, sewage disposal, toxic chemicals, and others.
The first major issue that we see comes from oil and gas. Important reserves of oil and gas are located under the seafloor in many parts of the world. However, prospecting, drilling, and transport can seriously damage sensitive marine areas and disturb marine species. The extraction of oil, gas, and minerals from the Earth's crust currently provides most of our energy and resources needed to run our society. To meet our ever-increasing energy demands, the extractive industries are increasingly moving to new areas, including remote areas with fragile ecosystems and unique biodiversity. Governments often have limited capacity to protect the environments or people who live here. We see a critically endangered population of gray whales as action under threat from oil and gas developments. 130 only remain.
A staggering amount of waste ends up in our oceans each year. Over 80% of marine pollution comes from land-based activities. From plastic bags to pesticides, most of the waste we produce on land eventually reaches the oceans, either through deliberate dumping or runoff from drains and rivers. Oil spills, fertilizers, seas of garbage, sewage disposal, toxic chemicals are all included. Oil spills, as talked about before, cause huge damage to the marine environment, but are only responsible for 12% of the oil entering seas each year. Fertilizers from farms and local lawns are causing huge problems for coastal areas. These common fertilizers cause eutrophication. Almost every marine organism, from the tiniest plankton to whales and polar bears, is contaminated with man-made chemicals, such as pesticides and chemicals used in common consumer products.
The marine environment is already registering the impacts of climate change. The current increase in global temperature of 0.7 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times is disrupting life in oceans from tropics to poles. Marine species are affected by climate change include plankton, which forms the basis of marine food chains, corals, fish, polar bears, walruses, seals, sea lions, penguins, and seabirds. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change predicts a further rise of 1.4 degrees Celsius and 5.8 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Climate change could therefore be the well-knockout punch for many species. The key impacts that we see are coral bleaching, stormy weather, moving homes, altered lifestyles, rising sea levels, decreased mixing, and acidic oceans.